ReptiChip sets new standards for reptile substrates. Made from the highest quality coconut available anywhere in the world, our products allow enthusiasts to provide their reptiles with the necessary humidity and thermoregulation required to allow their animals to thrive. In the world of reptile care, the substrate forms the very foundation of a healthy and vibrant habitat. At ReptiChip, we've taken this essential element and elevated it to unparalleled heights, blending innovation with sustainability to create a product that stands in a league of its own. Our journey began with a simple yet profound motto: all of our products are made by reptile people, for reptile people. Today, we stand as a beacon of quality and trust, embraced by novice and expert reptile enthusiasts alike. From the meticulous selection of raw materials to our veteran-led approach to business, every facet of ReptiChip reflects a deep-rooted commitment to excellence. Discover why ReptiChip is the preferred choice for reptile enthusiasts around the globe. Our foundation is deeply rooted in passion, quality, and community engagement, setting us apart as a unique leader in the industry. Don't be a Reptivich. Be a Repti bro. Visit us now at ReptiChip.com.
What's up, guys? First show of the year. Very exciting. Okay. Just coming off the 15 Minutes of Lame Contest. Just like every year, January 1st, the first show of the year, we have the winner of the 15 Minutes of Lame Contest of the previous year. That, of course, is Charlie Ryan from Reagan, Renee Reptiles. So we're very happy to be here and have Charlie on. And you know, we got some big stuff coming up with Charlie this year, so very exciting. Okay, I just want to point out some things that we're doing this year, but before I do that, I have to tell you that the show is also sponsored by Redline Shipping. Okay, fucking for any jerk that tells you, oh, FedEx does 90% of the work and you could always call FedEx if there's a problem. Yeah, don't listen to them. You don't know who to fucking call, okay? Robin knows who to call. 90% of the time when you call FedEx and there's an issue with FedEx, you get an out-of-country person trying to explain to you where your package is, okay? So Redline is still the top dog in shipping, still the most trusted in shipping, still has the best customer service in shipping, and they have the best website for getting the shipping done. So use the code Robin60. Get 60% off your first two packages with Redline. Then use the code Fatman5. You'll get an additional $5 off the package. So keep using Redline. Fucking don't believe the hype, everybody. Okay. Let's also let's do some validations. All right. You want to do some validations, Shauna? We'll just knock that out really quickly. K&D Reptiles, thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Basement Pythons, fucking Jason, thank you, brother. Chain Reaction Exotics, we just got 2 15 minutes contestants. Fucking how hot is Shannon Wentz? Okay, everybody go subscribe to Shannon's it's, I don't know, it's like unbelievables or some ball. I don't know, some balls. I don't really look at the name, too busy looking at Shannon. Okay, what do we got next? Sky High, Brian and Holly, thank you for running the contest this year. You guys killed it too. HJS Serpents are going to be in the contest this year. Rich and Sarah, thanks for coming by. I appreciate you guys. Balls Deep, Chris, what's up, brother? Fucking was nice to see you in Gettysburg. Look forward to seeing you again really soon. Python Prince, another Gettysburg guy, another guy that's going to be on 15 Minutes of Lame this year. Alicia and the Herp and Harbins, fucking what's up, baby? I'm going to see you in Georgia for Bob's show. And thank you so much for what you did with the contest and everything. You brought a lot of people to it. So I appreciate you guys. Graceful Pythons, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. Dickhead, you're already here. All right. You don't get, what do you just got to announce to the room that you're here twice? Oh, Dickhead, you're already here too. What do you got to announce to the room that you're here? Lori Gray, what's up? How hot is Lori? Lori is going to be a guest on the Sunday Hot Girl show in the coming year too. So I'm very happy to have Gray Family Snakes back on. LMK Ken, what's up, man? How are you? We missed you in Gettysburg. Charlie, great show tonight. I appreciate you guys being on the Fatman Nation Network. Irresistibles, Nikki, what's up? How are you doing, Nikki? Creative Corlofis, my boy Dick is always with me on every show. Fucking gotta have a little dick in your pocket. Mako, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Let's see, who's that? Is that all we got? We done? Oh, Frank Rossi Reptiles. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, Dickhead, you're already here too. All right, Jesus Christ. Chris Ferenzi, fucking coming off his fucking run in the 15 Minutes of Lame contest. You did great, Chris, also. More Forge coming on 15 Minutes of Lame in the new year. Thank you for popping by and all you guys do. Lindsay, haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for popping by, Lindsay from Pico. Dragon Soul. Oh, my boy, where have you been, man? Fucking Patrick, Jesus Christ. Nice to see you, brother. Fucking Happy New Year to you, too. Erie Reptiles, Jen, how are you? Thank you for popping by. And I believe that's it. Okay, are we good to go? Look, Shauna just decided to throw herself on the screen. Don't know why. Nice to know that even in the new year, we are fucking racking up the professionalism. I got a new sponsor here. I want to show them off real quick, too, because they're basically another outfit doing what everybody's asking for another alternative to selling animals online. So my boy Mickey called me up from Show Me Snakes and Show Me Marketplace, and he said, Chris, I'd like to advertise on the show. What could we do? And look, here you go. This is the first time we're airing this. This is the Show Me Marketplace ad.
Show Me Marketplace is the new online reptile-based selling platform that is both simple and straightforward for both buyers and sellers. More importantly, it was designed specifically for what reptile breeders and keepers have been asking for, a viable alternative for what's currently available in the selling space. No complicated fees, no tiered membership plans. One affordable price gives you access to everything you need, plus unlimited listings from your own Show Me Marketplace store. That's right. More listings, more exposure, and no hidden costs. But that's not all. Sign up today and use code FATMAN-50 at showmereptileshow.com/marketplace and get 50% off your membership. Already a Show Me Show vendor? You'll enjoy an even deeper discount. Building a safe, trusted community is important to us. That's why all sellers go through identity verification to fight fraud and ensure you're working with reputable breeders. It's time to ditch the corporate chaos and get back to what matters. Show Me Marketplace is a true alternative to everything that's out there. So sign up today and join the revolution. Don't be corporate, be punk rock. No matter how old you are. ShowMeReptileShows.com/marketplace.
Beautiful. Love Mickey at Show Me Marketplace. Fucking thank you, brother, for all the help that you've given me. So just some things on what's coming up in 2025, because I want to kind of put a push on those things now. Last year, we tried to do a different charity every quarter. Okay. That didn't work. Okay. That's a lot of work trying to keep up with that and keeping up with super chats from that and doing all the associated things. So this year, we're going to concentrate on one thing, and we're going to do a big veteran push in the next month or two. And we're going to just stick with that throughout the year. Our best campaigns have been the veteran campaigns with Till Valhalla and the Hero Company, and we're gonna do a lot more than with that. I'm teaming up with last year's winner Charlie and Jay from Green Line Morse, and we're gonna see if we could do something to knock out what we previously did out of the water. So we're gonna be doing that as well. Also, we're going to be at the Southeast Reptile Expo Bob Show next month in February. Trying to get the whole team down there. As a matter of fact, any super chats that come in within the next month or so is all going to be going towards helping getting the team down to Bob's show. And that's the first time where all the winners of the 15 Minutes of Lame Contest are going to be under one roof. So we're very excited for to do that. And I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. And speaking of shows, we also just got called back to do the CRBE in September. So what we're trying to do for that, especially since we got so much time to plan for it, is we're trying to put together a huge B squad and run all the Americans up there this year. Anybody who wants to come, you're automatically part of the B squad. We're going to probably do that with Redline also. And we're looking forward to that. There's a lot more. I mean, season 2 of Storytellers on Patreon. We're currently recording those right now. Those are going to drop in probably February, I believe. Maybe beginning of March, but I'm trying for February. Whole new crop of old school guys telling stories about the early days of the 90s and 2000s and what they had to do to get the animals that you guys keep right now with like not a care in the world. These guys had to move heaven and earth just to get them into the fucking country. So series 1 or season 1 of Storytellers was the biggest hit that we had on Patreon. So we're going to do that again with season 2, and we're gonna have some people that you wouldn't expect on there again. Not announcing it yet because I want to make sure that everything is in the bag this time before I announce it like last time. So looking forward to that coming up. Again, join the Patreon. Jesus Christ, shedtesting.com drops a $50 super chat. That's going towards getting the team to the Southeast Reptile Expo. So we're going down. I think we got 4 people. We're 4 people deep in the Fatman Nation team. Then whoever else is coming along. Where it's going to be fun. It's going to be a big deal trip for us. So we're very excited to go to that. So thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you. Before we go, you know what? We may as well throw in the plug for fucking Charlie right now. Charlie, who's also a sponsor of this show. If you need your fucking sheds tested, you really know the only place to go. I mean, it's Charlie. I mean, fucking Charlie. I don't want to say Charlie is crushing the $1 million company competition. However, Charlie is crushing the $1 million company competition. Okay, right now they got Test 4, Desert Ghost, VPI Exantic, Wookie, Hypo, Mojave, Phantom Mystic. I'm going to do a commercial for Charlie, but just for the record, he didn't get any shit to me, so that's why I didn't have a pre-recorded commercial for him. Yellow Belly, Spark, Sunset, Clown, Bongo, Lavender Albino, Special, Russo, Gravel, Spider, Puzzle, Cryptic, Spot Nose, Candy, Lesser, Piebald, Asphalt, Champagne, Zebra, Spectre, Ultramel, Bamboo, Albino, Hurricane, Chocolate, Genetic Stripe. Charlie, what do you say we put those things in alphabetical order? I think that they'll flow together a little bit better next time. Hopefully by the next episode, I'll have a pre-record for Charlie. Listen, use the code Fatman20, I believe it is. You get 20% off shed testing with Charlie. So make sure you guys go to Charlie. You already know he's kind of the best guy in the business. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else we have going on that I do want to talk to you guys about. I think at the end. Oh, we're doing. Adam and I are doing the other Patreon exclusive thing. Adam from Proper Royals. We're doing music video reactions, and that's kind of like a really fun thing. We're doing another recording of that this weekend, and the B Squad is gonna be all of the Americans, okay? All of the Americans except for Stephen and Shane, because listen, at the end of the day, right? They were the A Squad, right? So let's see if we got a promotion yet, and see if Robin puts a little bit more behind the B Squad. Real quick, I'm just gonna hop on the Herp show. Really the best run show circuit in the southern U.S. Now, really, they if you want to go see them, they're going to be in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, January 11th and 12th. They're going to be in Longview, Texas on January 18th and 19th. They're going to be at the Big Show, Conroe, Texas on January 25th and 26th. I would love to go to that one, but I mean, it's just going to be a little ridiculous trying to get a flight when you're in a wheelchair. It's not as simple as just driving there. So sorry, I'm going to miss that one, Sean. They're going to be in Corpus Christi on February 1st and 2nd. They're going to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, March 1st and 2nd. They're going to be in Bryan, College Station, Texas on March 8th and 9th. They're going to be in the Jew capital of Texas, Rosenberg, on March 15th and 16th. Then they're going to be back in Slidell, Louisiana on April 5th and 6th. If you got a question for them, if you want to vend at one of their shows, if you want to help out at one of their shows, if you just want to go to one of their shows, go to herpshow.net and tell Sean and Lori that they basically run the best local show circuit in the country. All right, so now there's a guy, okay, a guy that I'm surprised. Hey, look at that. Chris Ferenzi. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. When Charlie told me his pick of the 15 Minutes of Lame contest, I was a little shocked that this guy would do it. And then I spoke to him, and he's really like a nice dude. Really, there's no animosity here. I talked to Tyler for 10 minutes. I already fucking like the kid. And I always heard good things about him. I would just assume that because of who he was paired with, I wouldn't like him. Turns out I was wrong. Okay, I judged him. I fucking judged him, and I shouldn't have judged him. Anyway, we'll be right back with Tyler's Toxic Balls, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Making the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame
What's up, guys? It's Justin at Canova. For the past 5 years, 15 Minutes of Lame has become a launch pad for so many new successful breeders and a badge of honor in this industry. It's been so amazing to watch the passion and dedication you guys have and to watch your businesses grow. Just remember, the next me might be you.
15 Minutes of Lame!
There we go. Okay. What's up, Tyler?
Not too much, man. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being on. Okay, considering that I thought it was going to be a problem, turns out to be no problem at all. Okay, this guy is about nothing but love. That's all I'm saying. It's a good thing. Tyler's actually in New York also with me. He just happens to be 8 hours away from me, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty far. It's like 6.
Yeah, it's fucking rough, man. So Tyler, you know how this works.
Yes,
we're gonna put 15 minutes on the clock. We're gonna let you pimp your wares for a little bit, and we'll take it from there. So we're gonna put 15 minutes on the clock right now. Okay, right off the bat, the name. All right, you have to have trouble getting a girlfriend with that name.
Yeah, girlfriend hopefully is in the chat. I knew you were gonna ask about the name, and my response is, when was the last time you were around a group of 12-year-old boys? I hope it's been a long time, but that's how the name came about.
Longer than you know, right?
Yeah, I hope so, Chris.
Even when I was 12, I didn't like hanging out with 12-year-old boys. Seriously, and your partners were your dad, though.
Yep.
So,
Me and Dad.
so you went back to your father with that name, and he said, "Sure, why not?"
The name came from, we were at a local expo in Rochester, and you have to wait outside. It was October, so it was snowing 20 degrees, and me and my best friend would always show up there, 7 a.m. and we just sat in line and we're shooting names back and forth, and it came up, and I was like, that's absolutely hilarious. And I decided to stick with it, and it's worked out pretty well.
Dude, I got to tell you, I don't fucking hate it. For as much shit as I'm giving you, I don't hate it at all.
Thank you. I'll take it. I thought I was -1 here.
No, not at all. It's a fucking very punk rock and roll name. How long have you been doing this?
Breeding, this will be my 7th or 8th year.
7th year, right? So because you're relatively young, but you know a lot of shit. That's the one thing I've noticed from seeing you on multiple other podcasts, how much you know, right? So what are the big projects you guys got going on this year?
Big recessives are Clown Pied, Hypo, G-Stripe, and Monarch. Those are floating all over the collection, and then doubles and triples in all of those projects, kind of trying to mix them together. I have other little side projects, but those 5 recessives are the big ones, and just trying to mix them together.
And how has business been? Because you're old enough to treat it like a business, but you're kind of young enough to kind of just be real about what the situation is now in the hobby, right? Like how has the shows been for you? How has selling online been for you?
Yeah. Overall, it's been really, really good. For the latter half of 24, it was slow, but I cannot complain about sales at all. And the first 4 months of 24, we sold 128 balls in 4 months, which really carried us through the year. The last, again, six months were pretty slow, but still consistently moved stuff out. And I got 8 animals left from last year, so sales have been great.
And when you've been, does your dad go to the shows with you and like kind of supervise all the selling and all that?
Yeah, me and Dad are 110% partners. We do damn near everything together. He goes to shows. He drives to all the shows. He doesn't really love when I drive, so drives to all the shows. We set up, do everything together. He cleans rats, snakes, all that fun stuff with me. So
So
definitely
you're
full
50-50 with
partnership.
your dad, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So have you ever sold like a high dollar animal and was like, man, all right, I'm getting the newest 75-inch TV, newest PlayStation with this money, and your dad's just like, no, you're not. We're putting it back into the business. And what was your reaction?
No, it's the opposite way. Yeah, my girlfriend would say I spend all my money on snakes. There's nothing else I like really. So it's literally snakes, rats, and that's my life. So every dollar we bring in or I make, it just goes right back into snakes.
All right, you got to have a little fun, man. How old are you?
19. I'll be 20 on the 20th of January.
Yeah, see, you got to have a little bit of fun. Just take some of that snake money and just buy some drugs with it. Right?
Yeah,
Do
I'll
something.
experiment.
You're in college right now, right?
I was in business school. Just left business school, so full-time snakes and rats right now.
So yeah, oh Jesus Christ, okay. And how many do you have at the house right now?
With babies, close to 500.
500. Jesus Christ, okay. So you have to treat it like a job when you have 500. There's no, oh, I just got a collection of snakes downstairs. Yeah, this is a full-time, you're going at it full throttle. And what's the end game here? Like what's the what would you consider yourself being a success? Like what point do you have to hit that you want to be like, this is what I always wanted
Right now.
right now?
No, so it's a weird answer, but I try to stay as like humble as possible. All I've ever wanted since I was in second grade, it's in my notebook, is I wanted to breed snakes. It's all I've ever wanted to do for a job. So right now I'm done with school, don't have any job, and I'm working with snakes and rats all day, every day. So I'm happy. 3-5 years from now, I want the collection of snakes to be decent bit bigger, genetics better, and then the rodents are really what I'm expanding right now. So
Well, everybody says the rodents are where the money is, right? Like because
yeah.
even in downtimes, people still need to feed their shit. So is there a Canova aspiration for you, or is there a, hey, as long as I could pay my bills, I'm good with this?
Canova aspiration, yeah, like 100%, but
Really?
it's hard, to reach that kind of level. Like that's the older I get, which is not very old. You sit down and you look and it's like, that's many years away. But again, I'm young, so I got a lot of time. I've always wanted to do it full time, so now it's just like put my head down and freaking work.
And what was the conversation like when you told your father, I'm dropping out of school to do snakes full time?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Dad and mom are the biggest supporters ever. So he's very supportive. He was, the way the business has been going, pretty excited to get me to do more work here and keep growing.
Well, and what was the initial investment thrown into Tyler's Toxic Balls? I assume it all came from your father, right?
Yeah, so there were two big chunks. The first big chunk was $30,000 from my dad, from something from his job, contract at his job to stay there for X amount of years, and he got, a bonus. So he poured that into snakes, I think in 2020, maybe 2019. And shortly after in 21, we got approached to purchase a collection from a breeder in Chicago and bought their whole collection, which was 90 grand. So those two were the big chunks of money. And then there's been a lot of littler stuff thrown back all the time. So we're probably close to like 200 grand in snakes.
Okay. So you're about 200 grand in investments. Yeah. Since you've been running it like a business, how much of that have you made back?
In revenue, we're a little over 200, like 220 in the past 3 years.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's
not
not too bad at all. Does your father still work or no?
Yeah, no, he's still full-time vice president of a plastic injection mold making company in Rochester.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's talk a couple of sponsors here. Let's see how you do here.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, do you use ReptiChip?
I do not,
Dude.
Chris.
JT gives you a big old fuck you. Okay. All right. That's okay. That's okay. You still have hope. Okay. You probably use some of that dumb shit from Chris and BNS for yourselves, right? Like the chipper or fucking Go for Cocoa or fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
I might be a New York distributor for Chipper. I don't know.
Ah, oh, you're pulling the will to live right out of me. When you do ship, because I know you ship, do you use Redline?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you saying yeah like that was a lie?
No, I'm saying yes, like I would use no one else.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Robin does not give you a fuck you. Okay. Have you ever been down to a Herp show down in
I have not.
Nah. Sean's just looking at this kid and being like, fuck Sheldon's brother. I'm giving him a fucking finger right now. Fucking yeah. Sheldon's brother is from Texas. You would think he would go to a Herp show. Okay. Have you ever bought a snake from Justin?
No, I have not. I've not.
No. You had 200 grand in the bank and you didn't buy a snake from Justin?
Got a lot of secondhand Justin snakes.
Okay. All right. That's not good enough because Justin didn't fucking see any of that money. He gives you a fuck you. I'm assuming because you never bought a snake from Justin, you never used clutch.
No.
So Justin gives you two fuck yous. Okay.
Not a fan of me.
Anywhere in that space behind you, and I'm hoping that there's one behind you right now, do you have a sea serpent's rack?
I think I have like 8 sea serpents racks and 2.
That's what I want to hear.
We love Chris.
That's what I want to hear. Chris does not give you a fuck you. Okay. Have you ever bought anything from Recoil Reptiles?
No.
Alan just gives you a big old fuck you. But that's actually okay because you're all the way in New York. He's down south. That's actually not a bad thing. Have you ever looked on Show Me Marketplace for anything?
No, but I've been to Show Me shows.
Okay. All right. Well, go on over to Show Me Marketplace. They're doing some cool things there. But Mickey almost gives you a half fuck you, but I didn't load up that fucking icon, so he gives you a big old fuck you and a big old smiley face. All right. So what's the overreaching goal here? Like you're 20 this year, right?
Yep.
Plan on moving out this year?
Yeah, hopefully end of the year. The big goal is we are hopefully by the end of the month going to be in a facility for rodents and some for snakes. So that's the next big thing we're working on right now. So new rodent facility and new snake facility as well. Hopefully by the end of the month.
I didn't even ask you. Do you use Charlie for when you shed test?
Yeah,
right. He's the only guy to go to, right? Fucking
Yeah.
Charlie does not give you a fuck you. Okay. Charlie spoke very favorably of you when we were backstage at the last show that he just did. So you have a fan in Charlie. Okay. If people want to get in touch with you, it's Tyler's Toxic Balls everywhere.
Tyler's Toxic Balls, Morph Market, Instagram, email, Tyler's Toxic Balls at Gmail. And then if you guys hit me up there, email, I'm the worst, but if you hit me up on email, I'll just send you my phone number or something. And it's the easiest way is phone number or Instagram.
All right. Do you got a TikTok? You being 19, I have to ask. Right?
I have one. I have posted one thing on it.
Yeah. I posted 2 TikTok videos. I'm 51. It took me 3.5 hours to do one video for TikTok. Okay. It's ridiculous. So now this is a new question that I'm asking everybody. Okay. No, Blake, you're right. I do get a fuck you from Charlie. I'm a piece of shit. I'm sorry, Charlie. Are you gonna run in the 15 Minutes of Lame contest at the end of the year?
Yes. When Charlie texted me, I like legitimately sat down for like 3 hours and was like, should I do it? Because I don't enter stuff to participate. I enter it to win. So if I don't win, I'll be very upset. I didn't want to enter it half-assed, so I did have to put a lot of thought into like, yeah, I'm going for it.
Well, see, that's what I want to fucking hear, man. Okay. And favorite breeder, 1, 2, 3, go.
Troy from Best Dress Balls. It's got to be
Troy.
one.
You know what's funny? Everybody loves that guy. I find him to be quite irritable. Okay.
He's fat and likes Monarch like me. We connect like that. And he's got some kind of something going on up there, so we're on the same wavelength. Frank Rossi Reptiles, good buddy of mine, right down the street. And just shot up the list, but Charlie from Reagan, Renee, Royal Pythons, sitting at 3 right now. So
Charlie is kind of the man. Okay.
He is.
It's funny that you didn't name any of the big guys. You didn't name Justin or Miguel or
I don't know
Ozzy or no.
No, I don't. If I don't know you that well, then I don't. I mean, you're cool, but
I like that. That's fucking ballsy. I fucking like. I like your approach to that. Well, you got 7 seconds left. You want to fucking say anything left?
Thanks for having me on, Chris. Charlie, thanks for having me on. Have a good show, guys.
Well, dude, fucking, you killed it. All right. You killed it. Very fucking happy. Very fucking exciting that you're going to be in the contest this year. And you want to pimp the other show that you host? It's okay. You could do it.
Yeah. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, I do a live with Holly from Texoma Exotics. We're going to start doing one guest a month and then some other shows around every Wednesday. So tune in, and we always have fun there. So
beautiful. Tyler, thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate you, and I'll touch base with you in a few days, and we'll go from there. Okay, but everybody, Tyler from Tyler's Toxic Balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, making the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
What's up, guys? It's Justin at Canova. For the past 5 years, 15 Minutes of Lame has become a launch pad for so many new successful breeders and a badge of honor in this industry. It's been so amazing to watch the passion and dedication you guys have and to watch your businesses grow. Just remember, the next me might be you.
15 Minutes of Lame!
Recoil Reptiles, we understand your reptiles deserve the best. That's why we create custom CNC reptile enclosures with precision cuts, built to last and designed to showcase your scaly friends in style. With over a decade of experience, we craft enclosures up to 8 feet long, tailored to fit your needs and the needs of your animals. Whether you're a hobbyist or a breeder, we've got you covered with enclosures that are as unique as your reptiles. And we deliver to shows in Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. Recoil Reptiles, custom precision, built for your reptiles, built to last. Visit recoilreptiles.com today to design your perfect enclosure or call 405-999-7175.
Yo, Charlie got me all flustered and fucked up, man. I didn't play the clutch ad. I got to play the clutch ad, all right? It's only a minute long. Just fucking deal with it, guys, okay? I should have played this before Tyler's segment. So, yeah, I fucked it up. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
The ball python industry has never been more complex, but managing your collection, it's about to get a whole lot easier with Clutch. Created by Canova, Clutch is the cloud-based platform designed to streamline your entire collection management. From creating and searching your inventory to visualizing your breeding projects with powerful analytics, Clutch does it all. Track your clutches with a virtual incubator, Connect customers with the perfect animal using an amazing waitlist system and easily print labels for your shows and facility. It's that simple. You already know Canova for exceptional ball pythons. Now they're making ball python management just as exceptional. Visit cltch.io today and make your ball python road easier to navigate.
I just want to point out something. Gecko Diva, what's up, hot stuff? So fancy with the ads. Yeah, the reason that I did that was because I see all these fucking other podcasts with all these other sponsors, and they're doing video ads for them. And what they do is they just pull off some fucking corny bullshit stock video from some free fucking place. And you know, the ads look cheesy as fuck. Now, granted, it's a good idea. Okay, it's a good idea. I respect them for doing that. But that's not good enough for the Fat Man. The Fat Man had to go a little bit further. So I went and told all the people that wanted to advertise with me, yeah, you can't just give me money to advertise, okay? All right. I can't be bought that easily, okay? You're going to have to do a little work if you want to advertise on the Fat Man Nation. And I asked them to just record stuff from their actual day-to-day processes. And I figured that's something that would make me stand out a little bit. So most of the ads that you see on this channel are the actual people that do the actual work for you. And yeah, I just want to pat myself on the back. That was a pretty good idea, right? I thought so. Okay. Anyway, look, I'm very excited. This guy, I mean, this guy crushed the popular vote, right? I mean, he just crushed the popular vote. Out of something like 26,000, he got like 12. Okay, he got 12,000 of them. Okay, this guy did all the work. He put together great collaborations. And I think one of the things that helped him most was the night before the contest ended, he did a reel of the entire high-end stuff in his collection. So I think that impressed the judges a lot. So listen, without any further ado, I bring in my boy Charlie Ryan from Reagan, Renee Reptiles. What's up, Macho Man?
What's up, everybody? What's up, Chris?
Dude,
man.
You killed it, huh? You fucking killed it.
Yeah. I just brought these on because I figured some people probably wanted to see if I was going to or not because they said I had to after the debate. But man, I have so many people to thank for that. I still can't believe even hearing that number, how many people turned out and voted. That's fucking amazing. I don't know.
Well, one of the things that was funny was that the company that I paid to run the polling and look for fraud and all that, they called me and said, listen, in between 12:30 and 1:30 today, there was like 120 consecutive votes for Charlie Ryan. Okay, but they're all coming from different places in New York, right? So I called you about it, and you were like, yeah, that sounds about right. And I go, how could that be right? And you were like, I was at a barber shop. Okay. Tell that story real quick.
Yeah, no. So actually, I had almost forgotten what even had gone down that day when you first hit me up. So when you first said, doesn't this seem weird? And I was like, that does seem a little weird. And then I said, oh, shit, wait, because it was actually my friend was sitting at his barber shop. And it's a guy out here in the Northeast, a PA guy. And he's got a pretty big, I didn't know barbers had followings like that, man. There's barbers out here with like 500,000 followers and stuff. And he has a belt in the shop. And my friend's telling him, oh, my buddy's trying to get his own belt in the snake industry. It's like a belt for best cut in Philly or Pennsylvania or something like that. Best certain kind of cut. I forget what it was. So, yeah, he was like, oh, I'll help out. And he threw a post up. And I guess all his people, I mean, I could see all my I reshared the story and I could see all like my views and stuff and my insights going up. And I looked at the timestamp and it was like the 6 minutes you sent me. He posted right before that. I was like, oh, holy crap. I guess that worked.
That was so great. Like who would have knew the barber community was like huge like that? Because I know Antoine in the past and Jay this time around went after the vet community hard, right? But the vet community don't got nothing on the barber community.
No,
And that
that
shit
was
was like
crazy.
120 votes in an hour, right? Or less than that, in like fucking 9 minutes it was. So that was actually a great thing. But why did you want to win so bad?
Oh man. Well, I guess there's a couple factors in that, man. If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to give, everything to it. I wish I knew a different way to be, but sometimes it makes me and my whole family crazy, but that's just, I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have like a low gear. I don't have a way to turn it down. That was a part of it. And then, I guess, I've been, keeping the content a certain way for a while and wanting to do more and wanting to get more exposure and get out there and not really found the right groove. So this was a good thing that kind of forced me to do that. So that's another thing about it. And then just as we got to talk and know each other more. We started talking about, like we were talking about earlier, doing the vet thing this year and stuff. I said this will be cool to take the belt and to go and do more with it after, right? To try and use the kind of the momentum that I've gotten right now. I've gotten a lot of extra followers the last couple of days, a lot more sales the last couple of weeks. But try to take that also and plug it to some of the stuff we talked about partnering on, some of the vet stuff this year and stuff. Try and use some same kind of attention, the amount of clicks that we were getting on the votes, right, to see if we can generate some excitement around some of the other things in the community. I thought that'd be really fun. So
Yeah, no, it worked. Because if people remember, and they may not remember, you started doing reels in July. Okay. I think it was July when you were on the initial one, right? And you did a reel within a week of that. And I felt a certain way about it. I was like, oh, really? This shit's starting this early now again? I hope nobody else starts this early, right? And but it shows like how committed you were to winning. But like you were always in a top 5, I think, out of all the judges, even from your initial interview, right? So I think that you have a certain way about you that actually just kind of makes you very relatable. You're not mean. Like you went after Darren a little bit. You went after a couple of the other guys a little bit, but it was never mean spirited. It was always fun. So I definitely liked the way that you hit it. And it stands to reason because for the last couple of years, the people that did win, they saw marketed growth in their sales and followers and everything else. So at the end of the day, like, how are you going to use this besides, coming in and just taking the belt everywhere with you and doing some charity stuff? Are you going to stop doing the reels? Are you going to continue to do the stuff that kind of puts you into this part, into this situation that you're in now?
Yeah, so I'm not going to stop doing the reels. Actually, I'm glad you asked that because we are going to kick up. I went through and kind of cleaned up. We have had a YouTube channel just so I had the name reserved for a while, and I kind of cleaned up the junk that was over there. I had some random odd stuff. But I'm going to go back doing the reels. I think I texted you the other day and said I had a little bit of a contest and a holiday hangover going on. So I slowed up the last few days. I mean, it's actually, when I think about it, it's only been a week since Christmas and the contest ended. But for the last week, I've not even wanted to really mess with, besides from DMing people back and stuff, not mess with social media too much. But the reason I mentioned YouTube to get myself back on track here was I'm going to kick off something I've been kicking around the idea of for a couple of years now and not found my stride and my way to connect with people and how I wanted to present it. But I'm going to kick off just a simple like vlog style. I'm going to do minimum once a month. I'm going to try to do as regular as once a week. Just some updates on what we're doing here, what pairings we're doing, some clutch updates, things like that. Just a little more than the Instagram. Here's a snake. Here are the jeans. And then even the reels on Instagram, they're kind of they're skits and they're funny and they get people entertained. But if anybody wants to see a little more of what we actually do here, the process that I do, and then the animals that are coming, I'll put that stuff over there on kind of a vlog style on YouTube. So
Right. Okay. And you're a rarity, right? Because you won 15 Minutes of Lame and you haven't even done a show yet.
No,
Like,
and
defended a show.
Nope. And I've done pretty good, if I don't say so myself, without. And so actually, and this has kind of forced me to really come to the ultimate decision on which direction I'm going with shows or not. And two things recently shaped my view around that. So when I say what's forced me is when the winner getting the table at Bob's show coming up in Atlanta, which is an awesome show and a killer opportunity. But then also, to plug the Patreon for a minute, we did the Zoom call with Justin the other day. And I don't know if you remember, my question for him was about vending, because I've noticed he doesn't, Ozzy doesn't, a few of the other, and I'm nowhere on that level, but I wanted to know if it was level related. Like, did they get big and stop doing shows, or was there something else that drove it? And Justin's answer, I don't want to give it away for free.
No, you can give it away. Go ahead. It was a one-time thing. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Justin's answer, it wasn't really level related. It was more that it's something that I believed, and I've told people in other formats for other reasons, that sometimes things seem like an opportunity, and if it's not part of the overall model and the vision, they're actually more of a distraction than they are an opportunity. So for me, and it's not to knock shows, man, there's some really nice shows now where high-end animals sell. And like, I've heard you joke about all the money moves around between the breeders and the show. You can sell stuff to other breeders at shows, right? It happens on Friday night, right? But a lot of, like, especially the local shows and stuff that I'd be running around to if I was to start doing that are, let's face it, they're more pet level. We talked about the Oak show backstage before we got on here. Mm-hmm. And that's not where most of my animals are. That's not being arrogant. It's just the model that I've built, and it's what I've gone after. So I don't know that would work. So he talked about, right, you're working a couple of days out of that week to get ready for the show, you're there all weekend, and then bringing everything home, unpacking everything, quarantining it. Whereas if you focused, let's say he does online, right? Everybody knows this about Justin. You can focus every single day on selling animals. So instead of, working 3 or 4 days for a 1 to 2, maybe 2.5, if it's a really big show opportunity for sales. So that's a part of when I talked about the vlog earlier too. It's a part of what's pushing me to go to do that. Now I said, okay, if I'm not going to do shows, I really do need to ramp up the online, the social media stuff, and push things there. So I will, when I run the vlog, I will talk at the end of every one about what animals are coming, and I will do exclusive deals over there where I won't want to necessarily you don't want to put certain prices out into the market either, right? But if there's something I don't mind moving from at a lower price, I'll put it up there for people to get access to it and stuff like that. So,
right. So currently, right now, you're strictly online, and are you doing auctions at all or no?
I've not gotten into the auctions either. I've not. Again, I'm keeping the numbers lower. This was 15 clutches this year, is the biggest year we've done yet. So I'm not gotten to a point where I really need to push animals out that bad. And I think there is some value in the auction. I think that's helping a lot of people. People are getting animals at a deal, and people are getting stuff out of the rack they don't have to feed. I'm not typically in a position where I'm like, these animals have to go now. Right. I need room. I need to feed them, whatever the case is. A lot of them are stuff that, aside from a couple of males, right? You can only need so many of those. But a lot of the females, I'm like, if she stays, she stays. There,
right?
So
you're right now. You're not doing this full time, right?
I'm not. No, I have a day job.
So you're not dependent on paying the bills with the snakes yet.
That's the other thing. So it's easy for me to say I don't do auctions. I'm not running around to shows, right? Some people have to pay bills, so they got to take every opportunity they have to be able to sell.
Right.
So it is different. Yeah.
What do you do?
I am in manufacturing. So we make building materials, the company that I work for. And I've done a couple of things in manufacturing that I'll talk about. Otherwise, I won't get specific into the company. But I've done. I made beer when I first got into manufacturing, and then I went and made like cosmetics and then specialty chemicals and went into dentures and stuff like that. Now I'm making building materials. So on the operations management side of it, I run a pretty big facility. So I bring some of that background, because it's production, right? At the end of the day, making the snakes, producing snakes is it's not that different. It is in a lot of ways, but in some ways it's very similar. So I kind of bring that background and that mindset into it too.
So what's the end game here? Are you looking to be Canova level, or are you looking to be like, hey, if I could bring in an extra $100,000 a year with my side hobby, I'm happy. What's the end game?
Yeah, it's short term. Bringing in an extra 100 a year with a side hobby is an awesome thing. It helps cover a bunch of things. It helps cover reinvestment in new animals. It helps cover little stuff around the house. We want to do remodeling or getting a new car, stuff like that. But long term, I'd love to be at that level. But let's face it, it's a 20-year. It's not on the commitment side that I'm saying this, but it's 20 years of work. Before he was. I know he's been in it longer than that, but we'll say before he's considered where he is now, right? Maybe 18, 20 years or so. So I try not to get too wrapped up. And when you start talking about that too, you want to be the next Canova, then it becomes like laughable to people. They're like, you know what I mean? But
90% of the time I'm like,
yeah.
But okay, all right.
I'd love to be considered in that pool. I think I think, again, size, and I talked about this, although I didn't love my interview. It was interesting you saying that the judges had me kind of early on from the interview. But I think, Ozzy's, considered one of the greats in the industry, right? One of the guys at the forefront. And he's not huge on the scale and number of Canova. So I think I'd actually be comfortable in a place like that even too. If things went a certain way to where it was working to the point where I wound up with a number of animals and stuff like that, as like Canova, I wouldn't be against it. But I guess, I don't know. If I was looking to get out of the day job one day to do this, I don't know that I'd want to run a whole facility and a whole team again. That'd be part of the reason for transitioning over. So,
well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, as of right now, could you see replacing your day job income with the income from the snakes?
Yeah, it would take a couple of years. I run a fairly large facility. I've got over 220 employees. We make a lot of pounds of material. It would take a while too. So, and with that, I'm compensated fairly well for the it's 24/7 operation, and so it would take a little while before I could do that.
Right. So. Well, yeah. The only reason I ask is because for different people, there's a different number, right? But like I remember in the first couple of years when I started the show, that people were telling me, "Oh, if I can make $50,000 a year and replace my day job, that's what I'm going to do." For you, it would be a lot more than $50,000 a year, right?
Yeah, it would take. Yeah, it would take a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. Charlie, I just need a minute because we got to pay some more bills. Okay. Yeah. With speaking of a guy. Okay, that doesn't get his due. Okay, or Reptiles, Patrick McKnight. I mean, probably the second best ball python breeder in the country. Okay, not a lot of people know that because Patrick's been keeping it quiet until now. Okay, here he is.
Have you been to a reptile show recently? Hundreds of vendors, thousands of animals, and an average of less than 20% of those vendors making any money at all. Have you been to Morph Market recently? There are currently over 40,000 ball pythons for sale on the Double M, with many animals staying there for months, sometimes years at a time. In this insanely competitive marketplace, what are you going to do to stand out? I'll tell you what the you're going to do. Aura Reptiles offer premier consultation services on everything from breeding plans to current market trends. Patrick McKnight has been one of the most successful mainstays in the ball python hobby for the past 15 years and can assist you with pairings, marketing plans, and advertising. Be smart enough to know what you don't know. Then learn about it from Aura Reptiles. Check them out on Instagram at Aura Reptiles and get in touch with Patrick McKnight today. Get in the f***ing game.
All right, so that's my boy Patrick, Dr. Patrick. Okay, So what do you think has to happen right now within the hobby for it to make it worth I mean it has to be the $1 million of total investment that people have put in since COVID. What do you think needs to happen or change to kind of get the majority of people making money? Or do you think that it's just like any other business where the majority of competitors in that specific field don't make money and only the top people make money? I mean, and can it be both with this?
Yeah, man, I think that there's a lot of truth to what you just said about in any industry, and there's a huge failure rate of startups. There is, and I hate saying that because I'm Mr. Positivity, like you mentioned. Even when I was mean to people in the contest, I'm still like mostly nice about it.
Right.
And I hate to discourage anybody because the industry needs people coming in too, and getting excited about it and getting the itch and feeding into it. But yeah, I mean, with anything, there's a high failure rate in new businesses. I don't know that everybody's not going to make money. I don't think. Is there something that can, man, I think if somehow, and then again, maybe I'm wrong on that too. I was gonna say if somehow we could have a degree more self-control and a little bit less, man. And I like I said, I like new people to get excited. I know not everybody's got the budget that I necessarily brought in coming in, but man, I still see some pairings that I'm like, holy smokes, why are you doing that? You can't be pairing, one codom, one het to one codom anymore. Like that's not going to cut it. And you're going to really struggle.
And it's still going on. I can't even tell you the amount of people, newer people that come into the hobby and I ask them what they have going on. And they're like, oh, I paired 5 animals today. It's no big deal. It's like, albinos to normals or pieds to normals. And I'm like, then what the fuck are you doing that for? Like, it just means that you're going to have 40 extra snakes that you got to take care of for the rest of your life because you're not going to sell. And then what's going to happen to those snakes? They're going to freeze them or they're going to sell them to somewhere cheap that's going to, basically lead them down the path to a premature death anyway, right? So
it's hard. It's hard to have that discipline. I mean, even when I look at it, I've got like double hets in the rack and I'm like, man, it's a breeder female. She gave me 8 eggs last year. Man, I could get 1 snake out of that that'd be worth $1,000 or $2. Might make it worth it. But then I had to convince myself there's going to be 6 others in there that might be at best, and even now, like a desert ghost male, like at best, like, and then what do I do with that? So I've had to force myself to. People just need to, the time and money you're investing in those 8 animals that you have, save up. Save up, and I think I still want people to get excited and breed, but man, save up and do something that you are excited about. Not, oh yeah, I paired this to get a clutch, but it's not like you said. Oh, it's nothing exciting. Well, you're not excited. If you're not even excited about it, why are we doing this? Like,
right. At the end of the day, like I think also, like shed testing. I think I brought this up during the Zoom call with Justin. It's a great thing. Okay, don't get me wrong. Shed testing is a great thing, but how many ball pythons are gonna get slammed in the freezer because of shed testing?
I have I keep hearing everybody say shed testing is going to cut back on the unnecessary animals because you're not going to be trying to prove out pos hets anymore. But I think that I don't think it's changed things that much. And I shed test a lot. I probably paid for one of Charlie's kids' first couple semesters of tuition at this point in shed testing with the stuff that I work with. But I'll say, I think that it's also had the effect of, and I think this is what you're alluding to, people who aren't afraid to pair a het something to a normal and say, I'll test to see if I got the animal I want in there. And I think that that's generating some other animals that aren't great also. I think it's done both. I think it's cut back on pos hets being bred, but it's also made people feel a little more brave about breeding stuff that they're not going to go test for the one animal out of the 7.
Oh yeah. I mean, because you got to figure $50 a test, right? Roughly $50.
Yeah.
If that test comes back negative, what do you do with that $1,000 animal that that you found out now is worth $80? Okay, so it's like there's one or two things you could do, right? You could either take it and say, all right, there's going to be a pet animal, or actually three things. You could sell it to somebody and say, I don't know what it is. It might be a het, even though you know it's not a het, or you just freeze it, right? I mean, those are the only three things you could do.
Yeah, man, it's you're looking to hope that a niece or a nephew or somebody needs a pet ball
Right,
python. And even then I couldn't give. I got a male that's a het, one het, a 66% het, and 250% hets, but is visually normal. And I couldn't give that to my niece. She wanted and she cinnamon pied something.
Right.
All right. So
it's going to get to the point where you can't give away junk, right? I mean, because, if you found somebody interested in a hobby, even up until 2 or 3 years ago, you could have any piece of shit laying around and you say, I don't want this anymore. Do you want it? And they'll be like, yeah, I'll take that, And now I think even the most uneducated in the hobby are thinking, I don't want that. That's a piece of shit animal that's going to not get me anywhere. It's not going to further any of my projects, right? So, and that is really the bulk of the community. The people that are making money at this, no matter how much they hate to admit it, they're not the average guy in the community. The average guy in the community is either just breaking money or losing money right now. The people that excel and are making money, of course you hear, the ball python market's great, but you're talking to the 30 new guys that are doing great, but you're ignoring the 1,500 new guys that, took a second mortgage out on their house and thought they knew how to invest, right? So I think to some degree there has to be a little bit of policing your own, but at the end of the day, I don't think that you can. When everybody says police your own in this community, they don't mean that. They don't do anything to the idiots in the community. They still, they let the person get away with it regardless of what it's doing, whether it's some fucking moron getting bit by a taipan, or if it's some moron breeding enchies to het pieds and hoping. So
it's tough.
How do you think how do you think we could police a little better?
I don't know. People get their feelings hurt easy too, but I encourage people to be a good friend too. So when you're in a group chat and somebody's telling you that they're pairing something that you'd say, I maybe wouldn't pair that, even if you do it on the side and you try and do it as politely as you can, I'd suggest it. Because we've all seen the guy at the bar or the club in an outfit that you're like, holy shit, he's got two friends with him. You're like, his friends let him go out. Like they didn't. Yeah. I used to joke with my friends back when I used to go out like that. Everybody who's dressed like a complete clown in the bar, he's got at least one friend in the group who said, oh shit, yeah, man, that looks great. Wear that. Like
that would you'd kill it. You'll be drowning in pussy tonight if you wear that. Yeah.
Don't be that friend, right? Be the one that tells them like, no, dude.
But everybody says they want that kind of friend, but most people don't want that kind of friend.
People do not want that criticism. Yeah, that's true.
They don't want that criticism. And you hate to pull the excitement out of somebody, but at the same time, I think you have to sometimes, right? Like, if you're like, what the fuck are you breeding that for? And if the person did their research and said, oh, at the very worst case, I could sell these for $25 a piece to my local pet store, then that's fine. But nobody does that. Nobody makes that extra call,
right,
to see what they'll do with their byproduct,
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, if you have an outlet and you got it all worked out, fine. But I'd say work it out up front before you're sitting on a rack full of 40, 50 animals that you're like,
no shit. Yeah. See, when we were doing it back in 2010, 11, you always, it was a little bit difficult to find. There was a lot of gatekeeping back then. It was a little bit difficult to find the guys that would buy wholesale. All right. But once you found those guys, they would buy every piece of junk that you have, right? To resell at pet shows or stores or whatever. Now it's a little bit more difficult because there's so much junk, right? I mean, there's literally so much junk that the wholesalers can't, they won't make any money. Like we used to have a guy, matter of fact, multiple guys that would give us 25% of what the animal's worth resell, right? And we just figured that was worth it because it'll cost that much to keep the animal for a year and not sell it, right? So we used to have guys, but they would buy everything that we had. And I think people like that are few and far between these days because there's just they're getting so many calls every day that says, hey, I have $15,000 worth of junk here. And when the guy says, yeah, I'll give you $1,500 for it, they get offended and they don't use them. Yeah, so
even the wholesalers are like picky now. I'm not going to say I've never made junk. Like, sit here and act like I haven't paired stuff that I've been like, oh, why did I do that pairing? I have. Right. I'm not that. I'm still pretty new. But yeah, even when I talk to people about potentially like, hey, do you want to grab a couple of these? They're like, what am I going to do with those? I'm like, you're the wholesaler. I don't know. You tell me.
No, the wholesale. You're right. The wholesalers have grown with the hobby enough to be picky now. It's just such a night and day difference from what it was, 10, 12 years ago. What do you think the biggest problem in the hobby is now?
Biggest problem? I think, like I said, I like to be positive. I think it's the people who are, and it's one thing, like I watch your stuff. I like some of the reels joking about poking fun at some of the stupid stuff that we do in the hobby. But I think the people who are, and some people made what they thought were good investments at the time and it didn't pan out. But the people who are crying like it's all dead, like it's crap, you're not doing yourself or anybody any favors sitting all over social media with your product saying this market is dying or it's oversaturated, and yet you still have animals listed on Morph Market. Like you're right. I don't know what you expect that's doing for anybody, including yourself. So I think that's one of the big things, that people screaming it's dead. I think it's overstated. I said to Adam and Steven from Leviathan, we're over on the Proper Royals channel. I think it was just a couple days ago. And they were talking about the recession, the ball python recession that we throw around. And I said, it's not that it's not true. It's not that that the prices haven't dropped. Objectively, they've dropped since COVID, right? They have. Right. But when we start throwing, I think recession is overstated by a couple people who got really upset and got really vocal and are out all over social media bitching and complaining like we do when we do Yelp reviews and stuff. We complain about the worst, the most angry people come out and say the most. Right. Meanwhile, I've not had, because I've been more careful about pairings, not had that much trouble moving animals through this. Prices are down. I've had to admit that at times, and it's been tough saying, man, this would have been an $8,000 animal 2 years ago. But I've not really had problems getting stuff to move. So I think standing around yelling that the sky is falling only makes it worse. Becomes manifest at that point, right?
Right. Yeah, no, it definitely it definitely seems like they're inviting their own outcome to it, right? Like at the end of the day, it's really like shut up and do what you can, to sell what you have to, what you have to do. Like when you took on this, you took on, number one, lives of animals, right? But number two, you took on the responsibility of either taking care of those animals or selling them, right? You didn't take the responsibility of let's just get rid of these animals somehow, okay? And if you could just bring back up Brian's statement, Shauna, please. The recession isn't an opinion; it's there.
Objectively, it's there.
Definitely there. But is it there because I was just going to say, isn't it the best time to buy right now?
Yeah, I mean that's another great way to look at it too, and I think the people who are saying that are smart. And that is the type of thing that also starts to turn things around too. Everybody getting excited again because of low prices and buying into stuff drives sales back up, and then you see your ebb and flow. But the sit and again just bash. I agree, Brian. I rarely will say this, but Brian is correct. He was correct twice in the last couple of weeks. He was correct about me winning, and he was correct now about the recession. It's not an opinion. Objectively, we are down from where market was a year, 2 years ago. I'm just saying I think it's overstated the whole you can't move animals now. Some of us are moving animals. It's harder than it was a couple of years ago. You have to bring prices down a little bit, but they're moving. You have to have desirable stuff, is I guess what I'm trying to convey.
Well, and also you have to have the willingness to work, right? Like I saw a woman on Facebook that last week she posted I'm giving these animals away $520 for the group, and it was like a male leopard, a male banana, a pinstripe, and something else, right? And then today I saw a post from her going, come on, man, just give me something. Give me something and I'll take it, and you could have these animals. So I think that the people who put in the money and the time to buy the worthwhile animals, of course they're doing well right now. If not well, they're doing okay. Of course, if you buy shit, you're gonna have trouble selling the shit. I mean, like the only way that woman will sell those 4 animals is if she convinces a friend to buy these animals because you can make money with them. And that leads to the pyramid scheme fucking talk that everybody talks about. So I think the low end people in the hobby are like, they're really making it more difficult for the medium to high end people to actually get the job done and keep the public image perception about the hobby high.
Yeah, I think, as you just said, and a couple of people said, I mean, you got to be willing to work too, do something about it. And that's kind of my point. Don't go on social media and complain that the market's crashing. Go sell your animals, go do something. So even if it is looking for wholesalers, even if it is looking for people on Facebook that need pets, if that's where your animal, caliber is at this time, then you go hustle, then do it. It's what you're going to have to do at certain levels, and not gonna. But you know what? A lot of it led to that. A lot of people got sold a dream. I think that's probably been going on long before I was in. But a lot of people got told these things will sell themselves, and saw COVID prices that got attracted a lot of people, myself included, right? So, well, the way they feel is real.
It's like if you think inside the box, that's where you're always going to stay, right? Like before we found our wholesale people. I read an article somewhere where I found out that autistic kids like reptiles because it calms them down a little bit. So I called up the autistic schools in our area and said, would you like a free ball python? For is this article real? And if that's the case, do you want them? We're breeders down in southern Westchester. And by the time all was said and done, we probably gave away 25 snakes to 6 different schools. All right. That was 25 snakes that we didn't have to feed anymore, that weren't worth anything. But the kids don't know that. And the schools don't care about that, And what we did was we made sure we paid for a tank and everything that they could keep it in the classroom in. And we branded the tank so that if the kids' parents thought that it was cool, they saw our number. We were the first one they called when they wanted to put into an investment into it.
I'm glad you came back around with the branding thing, because for a second there, I was like, "Oh man, the first one's free." I was like, we were hooking the autistic kids in.
Oh no!
I didn't know where you were going, but no, it sounds like actually a really cool thing, because, like you said, if that's true, that it really does help, and then it really did calm down. And I've seen some people on social media say that they have an autistic kid who really loves the snakes and stuff. Then that's actually a really cool solution, right? You didn't have to feed them, you didn't have to house them, and then they went somewhere that there was still some value, right? Because when we say no value, right, and we sit here and say, well, these animals aren't worth shit, we don't mean as a life, we don't mean morally, it just means market wise, they're not worth anything.
Right. Yeah, and like I always say, it's like The people that tell you they're into it for the love of the ball python, I call bullshit on that all the time, because name me 5 people that with one ball python apiece. No, you don't know any. Everybody gets them to fucking breed and make money, and everybody thinks their snake is worth $1,000, even though it's worth $40, and that's what it's come down to. Now, granted, I'm not saying, some ultra male confusion, is worth $40. There's still a market for people that came in. The thing is that there's a buy-in for this whole, business, right? Like, if you're going to come in and spend $1,000 on 3 snakes, you're not going to do as good as the guy that came in and spent $5,000 on 1 snake. And it's to me that just
industry,
it just makes sense that would be the case. And you're right, it is like that in every industry. Yeah. But I think because I'm so invested in this community, that I see it more here, so
they are it is like that in every industry, though, right? It's what you invest and how you get in, and I, you can compare it to if you were going to get into anything. If you were going to make shoes and you told me that you were going to go buy the best materials, and you were going to learn the best techniques and sew together these Italian leather shoes, and then go out and try to sell those and become the next whoever the big shoemaker is, right? Versus, I'm going to start with a couple of different things I found at Walmart and piece them together and hope that I somehow take off. Like, it doesn't equate. So how is that you expect to do that in this industry, right? I'm going to go grab all the bargain bin Craigslist stuff and hit the lottery. I'm
going to buy 200 pairs of shoes from Vietnam and slap my label on it,
Yeah, right.
So you always know, you're like, yeah, that's not going to last long term, So really, give me 3 things that have to change in the hobby in order for it to progress forward in the next 10 years.
Man, 3 things have to change for it to progress. I don't know that I have the industry knowledge and insight to say that, man. It was tough. Again, to throw back to the Patreon and some of the conversation with Justin the other night, it seemed like even Justin had some interesting thoughts on what could make or break the industry going forward, right? So this is exciting genetic testing. We're speeding up projects. We'll keep finding these really cool new combos now. But then on the other side of it, is there a point where, he said something that scared me a little bit. Is there a point where the pet level animal becomes so, you hit a threshold of beauty almost, where the pet level animal becomes so nice, all the other genes we're packing together don't mean anything. Right. So that left my head spinning a little bit to make it hard to answer this question. I'll say, man, yeah, I don't know that I have a good answer for you, man. I mean,
well, that's the thing, right? The way that the market drops in this hobby, if there was a pet level animal that looked as good as the $10,000 animal, that'll fuck all you guys up, right? Like that'll.
It could. But then
any of the breeders, yeah,
they've not seen that yet, though, right? And this has been going I don't even know how many years we'd say the ball python kind of breeding industry's been around. I mean, we can account for 25 to 30 years, and a couple of people that I heard on the Plug the Patreon, again, the storytellers stuff, right? Right. So, man, so I don't know. Like like I said, he left my head spin a little bit when he made that comment, and it sounded like a scary proposition. But at the same time, some people were joking about if pastel was discovered today, it'd be a $30,000 animal off the shelf, because it would just be it's that eye catching. It is beautiful. So will we just keep finding new stuff that becomes the new trend, the new thing that people want? Well, I mean, people stop needing whatever the product is one day, or they're just after whatever the new hot thing is. So
I think that everybody is just fucking chasing a better form of brown and orange. I mean, that's really all it is. All right. Maybe yellow. Okay. All right. Maybe, but you're kind of limited. Okay. You throw out a purple snake and I mean real purple, not like a super fandom.
Like the colorblind purple.
Yeah, like color. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
man,
like give me a pet peeve of yours where you're just like, oh, I fucking hate when ball python breeders do this.
Oh, pet peeve.
Dude, I know there has to be 20 of them. And you're gonna pretend to be like, oh, I wonder, but because you're
no.
you don't want to.
No, I'm trying to think. Honestly, trying to think of a good one. We kind of hit on it a little bit. Sometimes the pairings lately are the thing that sent me, and I'll never, like I said, I don't want to bash people's excitement. I don't want to get people down, but man, I've seen some pairings lately that I'm just like, I texted a friend, got off Instagram for the day. I was like, just like, why in today's market would you do this? So that gets me. And then, like I said, just the general market bashing. I mean, it's one thing to talk objectively about it. I'm not going to say it again about Brian, but it's not an opinion that there's been a recession, but just the market bashing is just, to me, it's stupid. I was like, what good is that doing to sit and not talking about individual things that could be improved in the hobby, not talking about things that are wrong even in the hobby or the industry, but just outright the sky's falling stuff. I just don't get.
Right.
I don't get where you can go with that, man.
I hate the people that call themselves breeders but can't sex an animal. Okay, and then they tell you that proven ways don't work, and they're like, I tried that and it didn't work, and I hate that. But but I'm the same way with like people that don't know computers. Let's say, right? They tell me. They're like, it's not working. It's saying this. And I'm like, oh, right. You're the only person in the world that this isn't working for, you know? Yep. So that's one of my things where I'm like, and I think again, I don't mean to be like fucking just blowing Brian today, but fucking Brian actually said, he was at least the first time I heard it, that you're not a breeder until a snake that you hatched out has babies again, and you still own that snake, right? And he is right a lot of the times, but he's right from in a way where like he just sounds like such a dick, right? Like fucking.
You just don't want to admit it that he's right. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like fucking, like he was offering me some advice the other day, and he's like, "Why wouldn't you do it like this? You could bring this into this, and end up having that." And I didn't even want to tell him he was right. I was trying to tell him reasons he was wrong.
It's delivery, right? They say it's not sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So
yeah.
It's got a way about him.
People hate Puerto Ricans. Yeah.
You kicked one loose. You made me think of one. I'll tell you. So somebody who hasn't done certain things and people want to participate, man, we want to be involved. I'm probably guilty of it at a time. If you went back and watched chats that I was in or whatever, but somebody who hasn't done, isn't in a project, hasn't ID'd something themselves before, sitting back, like just blowing up a chat or just blowing up your feed with like all of what they know about it from everything that they've read in old, like 10-year-old ball python forums, right? And I'm just like, dude, you don't even have, or worse, talking about, oh, triple recessives aren't going to stick around. That's not going to be, and then you look and they're working, and I actually like pinstripe, but pinstripe pied, like, and I'm like, well, you're not anywhere near that. Easy for you to say that that's not going to be a sustainable thing to breed or whatever. Like,
right.
You're not anywhere near the project, so stop with the bashing it or talking about it. Or if you just outright haven't done it, like,
well, that's one of the great things that happened. Not to bring up the celebrity Zoom call again, but a lot of people asked Justin about exporting their animals, right? And I just wanted to say, and I don't know how Justin didn't say it, like, yeah, that's not a problem for any of you guys.
He very nicely did, though. Eventually, he said, "Look, it's not really worth it until," and he threw a number out there, right? That was like it stopped those questions.
Right. Oh my God. I was talking to him. I was like, I don't know how you just didn't stop and die laughing,
Yeah.
when that was going on. So, yeah, no, there's a lot. I think that a lot of people think that because they hear something new and because somebody is doing it that makes it look easy, they think it's that easy to just go in and do that. Like the Canada people are actually great to talk to about that because, what Canada people had to do just to get a fucking snake that was a mile away from them,
Smokes, yeah.
in like Buffalo, New York or whatever, they couldn't get that, like that was illegal for them. So, it's, yeah, I think that, when it all comes down to it, people should spend a little more time trying to get to know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Instead of just introducing, questions like that, like, I would really like to export my banana pin fire, and Justin be like, why would you why would you even want to do that?
Well, yeah. If you don't have a market for it even here, I mean, why is someone going to want to pay to bring it across? You know what I mean? Now, for certain things that are so, some of the projects are so niche, so specialized, right? There's not always a buyer for, DG Sunset Head Hypo, whatever. Like, something really, really high end. Sometimes you're limited on who's got money and in that project, ready to move at the time on animals, something we talked about as well the other night, right? So then, yeah, you're opening up because there's a value there that somebody else in the world might want it, if not in the States, and it's worth exporting it. But if you're like looking at exporting as like, I can't move these animals in the States, maybe somehow somebody in Canada is going to want it because they're low end. How's that?
I got to tell you, that would be the wrong thing because we were just in Canada 3 months ago. And what they have in Canada is unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the shit they have in Canada, like they're also shitting on cinnamons and pinstripes and everything.
Yeah, that's what it's not, they're not gonna,
yeah. I think we just have to we just have to figure it out. And also I think that if you come in, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, just shut the fuck up for 3 years. Okay, put out some fucking snakes first and shut the fuck up.
That's kind of, I guess, where I was going without as bluntly put. Like, and like I said, everybody, you want to be involved in the conversation. They want to be a part of the community. They want to get in and they want to learn. But there's a time to on the call with Justin, I asked one question the whole time because I just wanted to listen and absorb, right? And there's a time to stop and just listen. Right. And just let people who've been around longer tell you what's going on. And that's why some of the questions you asked me tonight, I'm even like, I don't know. I'm still absorbing that myself. I hate to sit on social media and run my mouth about what's the 3 things that we could do in the industry. You know what I mean? When I'm hoping that I hear that out of a Justin or an Ozzy or somebody like that, drop a gem, or Levance or somebody drop a gem that I pick up and go, oh, okay, now that makes sense to me. So I think you're right. There's a time.
No, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the Zoom call too, because I've seen these bigger guys on shows where people pay a $50 super chat to ask a question, and then the host just doesn't even bring up the question on screen or anything, right?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, we got to fucking, this. I knew that the celebrity Zoom chats wouldn't be packed, right? So there's 25, 30 people in there, but everybody
was that many
to offer, to ask a question. And that was the big thing. Not that I'm pimping my Patreon.
No, I'm going to throw it in that. Yeah. Right. but not kissing anybody's ass or anything. Honestly, honest to God, the truth. So I did the $5 tier, right? Just I heard Steven talk about the Storyteller series and how good it was. I did the $5 tier, and I will tell you, in the first episode I listened to, I actually went in reverse order. I think I grabbed the last episode first. I grabbed Limey's episode. In the first episode I listened to, I got my $5 worth in probably the first 10 minutes of it. And again, that's not kissing ass. I'm on the show here with Chris. I'm telling you, those stories they're fucking cool, man. Like that, the Justin one, the Pete Call breeder loan story. That was awesome to hear. And then Ozzy is not the person who I thought he was listening to his Storyteller episode too. That was interesting too, in a good way. What I mean is it humanized them a little bit. Justin's being like the young kid who had to drive to Pete Calls to try to get his snake back was like, like it was awesome. Like it was just really cool to get that perspective.
What about the Wilbanks one? And I don't want to give it away, but they went to Hong Kong, did a show. They made $100,000. The promoter paid them in 5s and 1s. Okay. So they got 7 shopping bags full of money that they had to bring to a casino and basically launder to get big bills. I mean, nobody, at least not the people that I've seen in the hobby coming in today, would even know what to do, if something like that happened to them. Like what if you were selling in a communist country and you made $100,000 and they gave it to you in singles?
There's a whole other tier too. When you go back through customs and now you got to explain $100,000 in cash. What the hell? It's like, it's just a ridiculous thing. I think you're gun running or something. Oh man.
Well, the last thing I want to bring up with you is you made remarkable use of your kid during your campaigning. Okay, which was a little surprising to me. That I, number one, didn't find her annoying, and number two, would think to myself, like when you would have a cliffhanger, I would be like, man, what is this chick gonna do, right? And we'll wait for the next episode, right? Yeah. So then a couple of people who didn't have kids accused you of using your kid.
Yes.
So what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, I love that. So here's one. The math ain't mathin'. So on the 2.34 schools, right? First off, so my votes came from a school of third graders or whatever, right? If you've ever tried to get third graders to pay attention for an hour, let alone to go back somehow on phones that aren't the parental controls let them get on the Fatman Nation and vote every day for 6 weeks. Come on, guys. Like that's not what happened, right? So I think I mentioned on one podcast that a couple of the parents said, oh, you guys are in a contest or whatever. And they got a little excited. We had gone and done a thing at the school recently. So some of a little more parents knew about it than had before, just like a week or two before the contest. So we got a little bit of excitement. I had a couple of neighbors and friends say, oh, we were still voting. But again, I don't think that accounts for 12,000 in votes. So I think so. So I'll come back to the kid thing in a second. I think a part of what went into that, and I hate to say this because I don't know how many times you had to tell me, all right, everybody calm the hell down in the chat throughout the couple of weeks of the contest. But I'm afraid to say this because I'm going to have people pissing you off next year. But I think you mentioned earlier, starting early, I think that helped me with the votes. And because I think I was, before some other people were ever even in the contest, I was their candidate. I was their, like I had locked up in their mind that I was in it and stuff like that. Now I tried to be, and I would tell other people probably don't do it because everyone's going to try to do it now that I've said it. So probably don't, because you're just going to annoy Chris. He's going to shut you guys down like he eventually had to do to us when we started too early. And you'll take something away from the contest and annoy everybody. If everybody ran and did that in a year, it will take something away from it. It won't be an event, a 6-week event. But I think I try to do one a month when I first did it, or whenever a new episode came out, I do something. Maybe if I thought that person was potentially going to be a threat in the contest, which is interesting because a few of them never showed up when we got to the time to actually run. But I try to do something on them. The use of the kid thing was fun. She's been a huge part of this. I'll throw back to how we got started, and I know. I didn't necessarily ask for all that, but she was the first one in the house. I talked about this at the interview. That was like, we got a pet snake. I had a ball python as like a teenager, but we got some pet corn snakes, and she watched Snake Discovery, who I heard you talk about recently. But they were a big inspiration for us. And then actually she started watching, talking about language and being involved in your stuff. Billy curses about as much as anybody in the industry. Right. She started watching Billy's YouTube and Billy's egg cuttings, Billy and Austin doing the races and stuff. And she was the first one to say, I want to breed snakes. Like, we should do this. So, and then I took it, and the same way with the contest, I don't have like a less than 100 miles per hour. So I took it and ran. Once we did it, it was a great, as Brian talks about, a great excuse to do it. But so she's been involved in everything that I do in here and all the content all along. So I had to let her get in some of it. And then it was just fun. Like, if you watch the one where she plays Darren and jumps out the window. Yeah. I had my child here. Go ahead, call CPS. I'll show pictures of where it actually is. There's a landing just below, but I had my child jump out a second-story window to get that shot. So now, like I said, there's a piece of roof about 2 feet below that she lands on. But so we try to do that with everything we're doing. If you're not having fun with it, what the hell is the point, man? I can go back to work, you know what I mean? Which I still work full time, but I could do more of that. I could do more of something else if I didn't just enjoy this and wasn't just having fun with it. It wasn't something her and I could get involved in together. Why do it, right? I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what's funny is that you said that during your interview, and as soon as you said, "Oh, this was something that I could do with my daughter," right? I was like, this guy has no chance of winning, because the judges are going to hear that and they're going to say, just something he did to get involved with his daughter. You know, he's not going to keep up with this. Yeah. But I think that the drive that you went through, and I mean, I think everybody saw the effort, like that cult video, the kidnapping video. The number one. I'm just thinking of like your grandmother, who you were like, "Grandma, can I borrow your wheelchair for a minute? I got to shoot a joke." Okay.
Oh. There is so much to that. So many things went into that. So first off, I realized that I'm actually getting pretty old, because my references for all the reels I wanted to do were movies that I think probably nobody remembers anymore. So like Eyes Wide Shut, like an old Tom Cruise, like Secret Society movie, is kind of like what I had in my head. And I'm like, nobody's going to fucking get this anymore. That's 20 years old or more now. But I went on like OfferUp and Craigslist and stuff to find a wheelchair for that. I was ordering like masks off Amazon. And then I thought about sharing on social media the more raw, uncut footage of that. That's me standing in one spot, shooting Shane, then jumping in the wheelchair, shooting you, and then jumping next to it and shooting Steven, and then laying the clips. I had to learn how to, and I didn't edit video like that before this either. Lay the clips. I'm watching YouTube to lay the pieces over each other so that it's perfect. And then the fucking sun moved on me, and the shadows like half cut of a tree like this. And I'm like, oh, I got to shoot that piece again faster this time. But yeah, but like I said, I don't know any other way than to do that. And then I weaved stuff in that I don't think anybody even noticed. It probably wasn't worth any of the effort, but like I lost a shoe in the first reel. And Steven noticed it. And so I was fucking with Steven the whole rest of the contest. If you watch almost every reel, if you can see my feet, I'll have a shoe missing. Like there's little stuff like that I wove through like every single. So.
Well, how long did it take you to get those sound clips?
Oh man. Oh, I was through so I'm resourceful, I guess. I started taking the YouTube link and dropping it into a YouTube transcript website and then word searching for certain stuff that I started to want as it started to come together. But at first I was just watching videos, listening for funny stuff. So it was a Bronx Down Under episode where you and Brian and that lizard guy from Australia were talking about certain sex acts and corn. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Like we're stealing that piece. And then I start paging through Leviathans and his reel where he says, where he calls Ink Lady Moore's bitch in the Pokemon reel. And then he has a clip on garbage breeders. That's where like I was those. But
dude, I think that's what got you their vote. That video got you their vote, because to hear, see, like I can't tell you the amount of times I played it back just to hear Steven with the mask on just go garbage breeders.
You know? That was a lot of fun for me. To make Steven mean was a lot to everybody was a lot of fun for me. It was fun.
Did you send a script to everybody? Is that
I sent, so when I got the other contestants involved, I wasn't sure how it was going to go because I was very vague with them. I said, "Hey, does everybody want to get in?" They trusted me a lot. I was appreciative of that. I said, "Does everybody want to get on the reel?" I made a side chat without judges because I didn't want you guys to see too much of it because I didn't want to ruin the surprise. I started having a lot of fun telling the stories through the reels. So I made a side chat. I said, "Do you guys want to do a reel? You got to just trust me on this one a little bit. I need you to shoot a clip in front of a green screen or out in the woods, and I'll send you your line on the side." I didn't want them to see each other's lines. So I DM'd each person their line. And some of them, you should see the outtakes from the Harbins. When I had them say, like, did he say corn? They don't know what I mean by corn. So I got a clip of Josh Harbin walking around the woods going, rock, nakatambara, like the band corn, because they didn't know what I was referring to or what I wanted. So they're just goofing off, which is amazing to work with them. They were so much fun, but and so were so many other people in it. But yeah, that's how that went. I sent individual lines to them, and they sent it, and some of them, quite a few of them, didn't turn out what I had in my head, and I was like, I realized how horrible of a director I was and how vague some of the instructions were, and I'm like, they're like, "Is that it?" And then they were excited, and I'm like, "Fuck, that's not what I wanted, but yeah, that'll work." So I just told them, like, "Yeah, it's great," and then I figured out a different way to take it from that. So that took even more time.
Yeah, you shot that shit like a Marvel movie. Like you were like, you can only see this part of the script right now, you know, because you can't know what's going on. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
That's I think that clip definitely got you the what's name's vote and Paul's vote. So even up until the last minute, I didn't know who Paul was going to vote for because originally we were just going to give Paul a vote, right? And then we were like, that's stupid. Like, what he could worsen the tie if he did that. Like, what if he voted for, you know? So that's when we're like, just between, you know, the two that are tied. And I'm very glad you win. The Harbins would have made great winners. Ink Lady Morphs would have made great winners. The amount of people that were in the contest this year and actually went all out on their stuff were people that I would have never thought, you know, would do so much to do it just to be part of the contest. And that is fucking humbling as shit, where, you know, like a guy with like 2% like Sammy who knows he's not going to win is still just doing reels every day and doing all, I mean, he did so great. Tag did so great. You know, Jay from Green Line did so great. You know, even Brian from Sky High, he's a little fucking lunatic, that kid, but he really, it was really a good year for people wanting to be in the contest, you know.
I loved that people didn't lose sight of that and didn't get discouraged, because I went through the whole contest was such an emotional roller coaster for me. I mentioned during the debates, the first week, my wife went into the hospital, which was a pretty crazy event. And so if you watch, when you talk about how long did it take to pull those clips, the answer is hours. I mean, if you watch my reels, I got to a point where I realized I looked too tired to do them anymore. And I had to take a couple of days off to rest because I was up till 3 a lot of nights, pulling different stuff together. But to back up a step to what you were just talking about, I love that even when I pulled out ahead and a couple of others of us got pretty far too, to where you could tell some people were going to have a really hard time to get the public vote. They stayed engaged, and it wasn't lost on them the opportunity, because there's people in it. This isn't just talking about myself. There's people in it who have bigger followings than me. Ink Lady Morphs has like 10,000 followers or something, maybe more. It might be off, and it might be higher. And so to get to do that cross sharing with each other, to get to just, you know, your platform has a little bit different followers than some of the people that have been watching me and Reagan mess around for the last couple of years. So for us all to be kind of cross sharing content and stuff like that, it was great for everybody. And so them not backing out and them staying right in the thick of it anyway, I think they're going to, I can't speak for them, but they would probably attest that I think they saw benefit from that. And I think they're going to continue to see benefit from that.
I think proof positive of that is Crystal, right? Like Crystal is a gecko breeder, and basically had an uphill battle from the get-go for her, right? Because she, it's going to be hard getting ball python people to vote for a gecko person. She stayed in it till the end with great fucking reels, and really like it meant a lot to me that everybody stayed in it, and they really just did whatever they can, and had fun with it. There's nothing better than watching people have fun at a game that you just made up. And you're still kind of making up the rules as you go along now, like fucking, it's a fun time, and I'm glad everybody had enough faith in it to actually do it. But at the end of the day, you won. All right. What are you going to do with it?
What am I going to do? Well, like I said, I think what we just talked about is, I think, something that I should have answered earlier when you talked about good things the industry could do more of. I think that collaboration stuff, and I don't just mean on the breeder side. Breeder loans get dicey, but the collaboration with media, social media marketing, and things like that, I think one, it's a ton of fun, and then also I do think there's a ton of benefit. You're sharing each other's followership. I'm not saying something that's inventing something that people don't know already, but I don't know that we're doing as much as we could, where people are doing reels and content together, aside from being on each other's podcast all the time, right? So I think more of that. Like we've been talking about, man, I really want to get involved in the some of the vet stuff this year, or really any charity stuff, any other stuff I can do to try to kind of give back and get people excited about stuff. I guess my thought is, if I was able to get people to go click, I recognize that it wasn't 12,000 different people, a lot of people over and over again, but if I could get that many people to go click that many times, maybe I can get that much attention onto, like we talked about, a vet charity.
Vet thing. Yeah, that would be, that's one of the goals. Yeah, that's one of the goals. Bring them in, and have them stay. And like that Till Valhalla campaign we ran 2 years ago, I mean, we got we sold close to 200 shirts for them.
Yep.
Okay, so that was a big deal. So I'd like to work with them again. The Hero Company, we did almost 120 bracelets. So it's like, these are big deals that you could actually see making a difference. And I don't want everybody to think I'm forgetting about USARK, because I'm not forgetting about USARK. USARK did a lot for me. I want to do stuff for them too. But I just feel like what we forget in this hobby, because we're so we're a niche hobby in a niche hobby, right? So fucking it's like we think we're huge because of this is our little world, but there's such a giant world out there, like beyond us, that I think there's a lot of people that could use the help, as much as USARK. And that's why, there's enough of the other podcasts doing all the USARK, donations and everything. I'll do, what I have to do to help them. But I want to start putting other things, and vets are a big thing for me. I was talking to Limey about it the other day. And he said that he would get involved in it a little bit. So as much as he can. So it's like that's what, that's what I'd like the end result of this thing could be. If this thing ended tomorrow and they were like, Chris, what do you want to be remembered for? I'd be like that I made people laugh, and that we really helped out vets, in certain things. And I'd be happy with that, but I just want to thank you. Number one, you're a vet, right? So fucking, thank you. And number two, I want to congratulate you and ask, how could people get in touch with you if they want to buy something from you, if they want to talk to you? Do you want people to just DM you just to talk to you or ask you questions? Because the floodgates might open now that you won the most popular new breeder contest in the hobby. Do you want people to message you?
I don't mind people DMing me and stuff like that. I'd say, look, here's the thing. And when I talked about earlier, kicking off the vlog. So real quick on the ways to get a hold of me, where I'm at, right? Instagram's the easiest one. You can DM me there. Almost everybody in the contest, I give my number out all the time. We wind up DMing enough, I'll give you my number, text me, call me, whatever. But even when I start so the next thing that I'll say is, if you're gonna want to look what animals I have, if you go to the Instagram, there's a link to Morph Market, or just go to Morph Market and look me up. I do almost all my sales there. The only other way I really do it is through the DMs on IG, people saying, "Hey, I know you're in this project. What do you have?" And just talking with people all the time, and them saying, "Oh, I was looking to do this. Oh, I have something like that. If you're interested." And I try not to be pushy. So there's that Instagram Morph Market, and the other one, like I said, I am going to kick the YouTube off. I'm looking to hopefully have the first little episode. They're going to be 10 minutes, maybe less. I'm looking to kick that this coming weekend. The first episode of that off, and there's going to be 2 things on that. And this is what I was going to answer your question about people DMing me for advice and stuff. I'll tell you, if you wind up following my YouTube and you wind up looking at the vlog, it's not going to be that much. I'll give advice if I know it. We talked earlier about just shutting up sometimes. If you DM me and you ask if I know, I'll tell you. But that's not the point of that vlog. I'm not going to be out here giving like, this is how you ultrasound, this is how you pair animals, how often, and what follicle size. If it's what I'm doing that week, I'll talk about it, but it's not for that. It's to, again, give insight into what projects we're working. And then also I am going to try to slip in some of the same humor and stuff that we did in the reels. I've already cut like an intro. I've already cut like a little middle piece and then an outro thing in that 10-minute episode. We're going to slip some of the same humor in there. We did for a while. We were getting a lot of views on these like dad joke reels that Reagan and I were doing. I slipped one of them into it. So I'll throw some of that stuff in there too. So it's more going to be, if anybody for whatever reason is interested in seeing what we're doing here, what projects we're working on, and just some of what our process is, you can see that. If you ask me, I'll tell you, but I'll tell you, there's so many good Patreons of people that are giving the technical advice. Throwback earlier, I mentioned Mutation Creations, YouTube, and me and Reagan watching that coming up. We've been in his Patreon for a long time. There's a couple other good ones out there. Even some of the other people like some of our other friends, Leviathan and Shane, and Adam and yours. There's other people out there. What I'm trying to say in way too many words is there's other people better equipped to give you like the technical breeding advice. I've got a couple years in now. I'll help if you have less time than me. I have other business experience that I bring in. So I do have a couple of friends. I talk about different decision making around some financial stuff. I'm an accountant, but I can help with that a little bit. But whatever, DM me, we'll figure it out. We'll find a rhythm. It's fine. It doesn't.
Well, I guess I can't believe we went through an hour and 20 minutes without even just asking. What projects are you working on right now? What are your big projects?
Yeah. I got really excited about G-Stripe Clown for a little bit there. And everybody was running after DG Clown, right? So then naturally I crossed that up. DG G-Stripe Clown, I would have said was my biggest project if you asked me a year and a half to 2 years ago. In that, I picked up an animal that was cryptic, and I hatched out some really pretty crazy looking kryptons that I think rival, and I get feedback a lot of times, comments. People could be being nice. They could believe it. They could be in the project too, and they're trying to hype it up. But I get comments like, looks better than the clown version. So I would say now my focus has gone more towards like DG Krypton, but still a lot of DG G-Stripe Clown stuff that's there too. I am looking at, speaking of Limey, since his episode where he talked about the Valhalla thing that you guys did, I have started talking to him a little bit on the side because I'm also interested in paint. So I'll probably add paint this year too. Yeah. So another good reason to talk to Limey. He might have some females in here in a month or two when I'm ready to buy. So, but I'd love to jump on something like the Valhalla thing with you and him. He and I talked about that a little bit about the vet stuff. So that'd be awesome. But I guess that's it for projects. Yeah. A lot of DG Krypton stuff. And then I'm trying to mix a couple other things, hypo in there too, a few other things. So.
God damn it.
I know. I knew you were going to make that reaction.
God damn it. Well, listen, thank you for taking the time, man, tonight. Congratulations. I'm fucking way happy to have you part of the family. And we're actually all going down to Georgia, right? So Charlie's going to come down with us. Paul, Shane, I believe Shane, Leviathan, and Antoine are vending. And the Herp and Harbins, since Charlie doesn't vend, Bob is gonna give them our table. And the Herp and Harbins said that we could all come there and just put out stickers, put out whatever, put the belt out on there, take pictures with people, just basically give us like a hangout place, you know, for the whole weekend. So I want to thank Josh and Alicia for that. It's going to be a fun time, man. So I actually can't wait to go there. But thank you, brother. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the effort that you put into it. Thanks to everybody for the effort that they put into everything this year. And you guys made it the best, flawless. They're going to be vending in Georgia too, and Flawless are going to be on the episode 15 Minutes of Lame on January 15th. So our next episode. So we're all Python Prince going to be on May or April 1st, I believe. So yeah, a lot of great things happening. We're going to be doing a lot of great things this year together. So Charlie, thank you for everything. Everybody go follow Charlie on Reagan Renee Reptiles. Thank you again, brother.
Hey, thank you.
All right. All right. You can stay backstage. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Or if you want to leave, that's fine too. All right. I got shit I got to do. It's up to you. I don't care. That's what I'm basically saying. All right. All right, brother. Oh, man. Fucking cool guy, right? I mean, what a fucking great addition to the 15 Minutes of Lame family. I definitely think, getting to know him a little bit more tonight was great too, because you don't get to know him during the 15 minutes video or the 15 minutes segment, and then I got to know him a little bit during running the campaign, but I got to at least ask him everything I wanted to ask him tonight, so I appreciate him. Again, Charlie made reference to the Fatman Nation Patreon. If you want to join that, see a little bit more, get this extra video on there. There's a bunch of different series on there. The season 1 Storytellers is on the Fatman Nation Patreon. So if you haven't listened to that yet, go check that out. And basically, it's just another way of supporting the channel. So thank you guys. Next month, or next episode rather, which is going to be on January 15th, I'm having my old friend Nice Balls, and they were they were vending with us. They're still going. I ran into them in Gettysburg, but they're still going now from when Eyeballs was going in 2010. So we're having them on, and like I said, Flawless is going to be the 15 minutes guest. So I'm going to head out, and thank you everybody. I know that there was 20 different shows on tonight. I'm sorry that we came in and kind of interrupted the flow. It's just that, being that we only do the 1st and the 15th every month, you never know what day it's gonna fall on. But before you go, check out Chris Sea Serpents, best PVC racks in the industry. Chris ships all over the place. Chris been doing this for 20 fucking years, man. We had a ton of Sea Serpent racks over at Eyeballs. I had a bunch of Sea Serpent racks over here when I was done with Eyeballs, and still, just in case I ever got back into it again, I still got a Sea Serpents incubator in the closet over there. So go check out Chris Nettles at seaserpents.com. What else do you say? The guy builds the best built racks or PVC racks in the company, in the hobby. You don't want, a fucking refrigerator size Freedom Breeder in your living room. Okay. Let Chris do the rack out of PVC. It'll look like furniture. It'll look like it belongs there. Go check him out at seaserpents.com. So, I think I'm done for the night. Did I do all the commercials? Yeah, I did all the commercials. Hope you guys like the new format. We got a little bit new look going on, and I appreciate all you guys. We will see you on January 15th. Actually, I'm going to see you before that. I'm going to see you Sunday on Fat Man Live, the Hot Girls episode, because I'm going to have Amy Bensi on from Happy Basins, who just got back from Brazil, looking for emerald tree boas in the wild. So looking forward to having her on. That's going to be Sunday. Hope to see you guys there. If not, maybe I'll see you guys in the Patreon or on Discord. Take it easy, guys. I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.